Acknowledge him. Yo, everybody's out here acknowledging nowadays, ain't they? I was like, The Rock on board. I was like, hey, look, Rock came in his way too expensive. I can't pay for that. I wouldn't wear it. But yeah, if I had that much money shirt, I'd probably rock it outfit. Um, look, I was like, I I was like, we're getting a mix of I felt of like the whole, a little bit of Hollywood Rock while still being like The Rock with just being heel, even though he's still about the same. It's like, yeah, but he's still kind of an a-hole. Not really the corporate Rock that I was hoping, but hey, he's here. He's great. I was like, came out here. I was like, call him crackhead Karens, talking about meth Marys. I was like, during some of this, I was like, you can hear The Rock like trying not to break character because there was a couple of times like he wanted to laugh. It was funny. I was like, he had to repeat himself a couple of times because the crowd's trying to get in while he's trying to say his stick or whatever. But hey, he laid out the challenge, and to what a lot of us probably thought that they might try to do is have the night one match be a tag team match. Basically, Seth Rollins, Cody versus Rock and Roman. So we had thoughts that this might happen just because Seth being involved and Seth being like, I'm gonna help you out. It always seemed like that was pretty much going to be on the horizon or whatever. But the stipulation, and I think this is what makes this part great because of everything. The stipulation pretty much is if Seth and Cody wins, then hey, no bloodline, no interference on night 2 with your match with Cody versus Roman. Nothing, we're not around. We'll sign that dotted line, all that stuff. But if you lose, guess what? Bloodline rule. Whatever goes. And we could do whatever we want to and no repercussion. So basically, I was like, a no DQ match or hardcore match. Whatever you want to say. I was like, pretty much what it sounds like. And this, I think, is the icing really needed on top of the cake. Because no matter what, however long it comes, like they still got like four or five more weeks. We were going to get like a build of going back and forth anyway. Whether they had the tag team match or not, I was like, they were going to find some way to make this go or use Seth and all this other stuff. But we got the tag team match, and it was going to be fairly obvious that pretty much I was like, the stipulation was a good thought of, hey, if they win, I was like, most of the I'm going around, but I was like, the most of the theories was that the match would basically be if the bloodline wins, then it's Roman versus Raw. Cody wins, he gets to have his match. But the match is set in stone apparently, so that wasn't going to matter. But at least with that stipulation, it kind of was like, yeah, but we would have a sense that Cody was going to win the tag team match. With this stipulation that The Rock put out, I now think that they're going to lose that tag team match. I was like, I think that way it makes more sense to me that Cody wins through the bloodline shenanigans. He lost last year because of the shenanigans. So this year he still has to go through the shenanigans. It's just extra shenanigans on top of it. And he has to overcome the bloodline in all totality. I think that's the best way you could give him the win and feel that Cody is like he beat Roman. He beat Roman. Like, yes, it's not the one-on-one matchup where it's like straight up, I'm better than you man to man, but it's kind of better because it's like I beat you and you put out all the stops. I barely beat you last year when you pulled out a couple of stops. That's how it pretty much is. So I think that I also think that way it builds more of the story too, because it's like, oh snap, Rock Roman just beat Cody and Seth, which to me, I was like, Cody eats the pin. Cody has to eat the pin to me. I was like, Seth, I already think he's going to lose to McIntyre. Who knows if it's going to be a night 2 match or a night 1 where like Seth already has to match with McIntyre. That might play in it where maybe they do McIntyre first, then they do Seth. I don't know, who knows. But anyway, I was like, that's another that's going a little bit down the line. But but anyway, this stipulation is what makes this whole thing happen. I was like, and in the promo, of course, that he's going back and forth. You know, I was like, it was. I will say this: it's a really long segment for there to be nothing really to be said at the same time, because he did his little stick. He talked about the tag team match and the stipulations. And that was really about it until it got to the point where he about to sign off, he about to do his signature. Do you smell? Roman stops him. And then you sort of hit the crowd like, what the hell going on here? Now even me, I'm like, oh, they doing this kind of early, ain't they? And then he's like, I want you to acknowledge me. And I was like, oh, this seemed like this is kind of early for me. I thought this was gonna be a little bit later, like a little bit before WrestleMania, but still within the window. And The Rock just went ahead and was like, hey, I acknowledge you. And it was like, oh, okay, that was easy enough. As the crowd is like, you a sellout, and he's just like, yeah, but this family, you know. So I was like, so look, I was like, and this is just the promo, you know. I would like the whole setting up the match, but hey, I was like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I was like, I didn't think that they would put all this into it necessarily from the beginning of when we first started. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the next Monday and some change. I mean, not Monday, next month and some change of what more can they do to keep this going while also not like you don't like the one thing you don't want to is like to get it like stale. It could be crazy, wonky, confusing, whatever, all that other stuff. You just don't want it to be boring. And like we're getting a Rock for the next 3 weeks, leading up, and the next week they're supposed to all like be face to face. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that all goes. Cause I was like, obviously we know. I was like, they're probably gonna say something Monday about it. Cody's going to accept. Like this ain't like we already know how this part gonna go. But I guess it's going to be like, what's going to be the extra push? Like, do we get The Rock how he was at the kickoff show? Do he bring a little bit of that back once he's actually face to face and he's not playing with the crowd anymore? He had a little dig at Triple H as well, so Triple H going to be there. He's going to like throw himself into this match, and not physically, but as the role of being like, I don't care that you on the board type of situation. I'm the one that get to run things here kind of thing. So that'd be cool of that banter as well. But for the segment alone, it was great. It was good. I was like, it went long, but it was fine. Also, in other Smackdown since, I was like, I also just feel like, hey, I was like, Braun Breaker, I was like, I like if they're going to do sort of the Goldberg route with him. I wish the Quinn dude would have sold it a little bit better. And by that I mean like played it up of like he about to get the spear, but you know you play it up like, oh, spear out of nowhere. But I think it'd be great if they do Braun Breaker almost like Goldberg, where it's just like he comes out and just wreck dudes, you know, real quickly. I was like, cause they don't seem like they're going. I don't think they're going to do anything for him till WrestleMania. I was like, I thought they were going to prolong and do, you know, a little bit more with Bayley and damage control. I thought they were going to be like hold off a little bit longer on the whole Dakota Kai Bayley thing, but they went ahead and pulled the trigger. I was like, will be interesting to see how that sort of plays out of like how WrestleMania could go. But yeah, I was like, I felt like the turn was coming. It just matter of like when it was going to or whatever. But I was like, that story progressing pretty. I was like going along pretty well too. I was like, you know, they didn't really have Bayley look like a dumb baby face or nothing like that. And Bayley was able to fight at least a couple of them for a minute until it was just too much of the numbers. I like Rey Mysterio came back and he had a funky ass mask. I was like, I'm just gonna say it looked weird. It looked like a kid that put on their daddy like a mask. That's what it really looks like, and that's not really even a slight because Rey Mysterio is small and stuff like that. It's really cause that's how that looked. Cause the mask was just really off putting in a way like that. I was like, I can't think about who he looks like, but he looks like a character. I can't think about what it is. When he came back, I would like to give Carlito the win in the LWO and stuff like that. Yeah, I was like, yeah, but I was like, that was really the whole point of SmackDown. Like the Rock segment took nearly a fourth of the whole damn show or whatever. But anyway, that was a Rock and a little bit of picks of SmackDown. But hey, let's see where this goes. Put them ones up, or in the Rock's case, them guns up. Is it an L? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.